Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Ben and I'm going to share my backstory with you. I've got early onset arthritis or a disc degradation disease, they're the same thing. I've had 3 operations, I've had 2 discectomies and an L5-S1 fusion. I've had a bunch of epidurals and I've tried various different therapies. I'm making these videos because I feel like I've found out, learned and experienced lots of things that will hopefully be useful for anyone that's watching this. I know when I had found out I had to have an L5-S1, I went online like most people do and just found loads of horror stories, and I was looking for some reassurance that I couldn't find. I'm making these videos not just to provide reassurance for the sake of it. I just feel like there's stuff that I would have appreciated when I was going through something similar. I'm going to do these videos in a bunch of short videos so that it's not a long monologue from me, so it's easier for you guys to navigate. I'm going to cover everything from my sort of background, a bit of history for some context, to my experience of pre-post-op. I'll talk about the stuff that has worked and hasn't worked, everything from the sort of obvious walking, stretching to the less obvious like eating, cold exposure. I want to talk about inflammation, fight or flight. I want to talk about what it's like to be someone that defines themselves as physical and can't be physical anymore. Before you dive come in too deep, the overarching sort of narrative for me is it's been a success. I'm really pleased with the outcome. I've had to make loads of changes. I do lots of things differently and I've had to leave lots of stuff in the past, but I can be a dad and run around with my kids and do the things that are really important to me now. I've had a couple of big realizations on the way. The most obvious one is that sort of pharma and procedure will only get you so far, and the rest becomes down to you. Are you doing everything you can with what you've been given? And there are sort of 2 defining moments for me. One, I was seeing a physio after my second operation. It was to do with my knee, nothing to do with my back at all. And I was going to lie back on the bed. I was shaking because I had a super weak core at the time. And this guy said, look, can I give you some advice on your back? If I were you and I had the back you have and had the procedures you had, I'd make sure that I had the strongest core possible to reduce as much load and to give your back the best chance. And I felt silly, like a kid that hadn't done his homework, but it was one of the best bits of advice I ever got. The other was I had a chat with a chap who had the same operation as me, so the L5-S1 fusion. I did it reluctantly because my view was that everyone has this operation for different reasons, and the outcome is different for everyone and the time to outcome is different for everyone too. But it was one of the best chats I've ever had. Big up to Steve. He's a guy that was doing lots of things and really making sure that he was doing everything he could, and it opened my eyes to stuff that I hadn't considered before and I still do religiously today. So if you like the sound of that stuff, then stick around. Next video is going to be my literal backstory for some background and context.